welcome back, folks. This is Larry Lonsby Jr., and this is Tales of Tezlon, episode number 2. I just wanted to talk a bit about one of the races in Tezlon. I know earlier I discussed about Jaak Tate and the Scarecrow. There are a few offshoots of wood elemental type creatures, and one of these races, or offshoot of the wood elemental race, is called the Kinn, the ancient Kinn, Kinn. And these are an offshoot of the wood elementals. A lot of them have a pumpkin head type. They have a pumpkin for a head, pretty much, and their body is mainly vines and wood. And these type of characters are more like a cross between a knight and a samurai for the bulk of the Kinn. They're very honorable. They do carry a blade, a wooden blade that's made from a really ancient and tough wood that's razor sharp and is pretty close to being indestructible even against fire. There's not a lot of the Kinn left, and a lot of them travel with the Scarecrow and other wood elementals. They act as teachers and guardians, and mostly they are warriors and shamans. And over the course of the stories that I've written, one of the main characters, his name is Lotus Quintero, and there's been a couple artists that have did some renditions of him. I did have a guy named Arif Gunawan do a lot of concept sketches when I was writing the novels and stuff like that. And so he had, one of the images in here you'll see is more of an anime manga type concept sketch of Lotus Quintero. The other ones were done by me, various sketches and things of that nature. I really enjoyed creating the Kinn. They will serve a larger purpose in the storyline when it's revealed. But for the most part, Jaak Tate's teacher and one of his best friends is Lotus Quintero, who teaches him how to use his abilities in combat. Scarecrows have the natural ability to morph metal claws, and that's explained in the story how they had that ability, and they were kind of created with that. So Lotus Quintero teaches Jaak Tate how to use his claws and blades in melee battle with ancient techniques, so that he can fight people with swords using his claws if needed. They're a proud race. There's probably maybe 1,000 of them left on the world of Tezlon. They come from another world, an elemental world, and during different time where there was portals that was open between the worlds, some of them migrated over to Tezlon during the big huge war between different worlds. But for the most part, they are nature loving. They are samurai type minded and knights, so they're very honorable, very tough, very hard to beat in combat. Probably one of the best swordsman type races in the world of Tezlon. They can handle the wooden blade really well. They use a combat system that uses the blade also with martial arts. So the shamans are more kind of like healers and seers and of that nature. And there's only a few of them left. During the war, a lot of the Kinn were wiped out, and when the Scarecrow found themselves without a home, they welcomed them into the crop, an area of Jamalon, where the Kinn had settled with some of the woodland elementals and creatures of that area. So I kind of created the Kinn as a kind of like a guardian of the Scarecrows and other woodland creatures. A lot of Kinns travel to up north on the map, which forthcoming, I will share with you guys into the Empire of the Catan, which is kind of like an Asian version of cats, humanoid cat people. And there's many clans, and the Kinn usually travel and trade and meet up with them and do certain events and things of that nature. But for the most part, they'll play a big role in the storyline, in the final battle that I have planned in the overall story arcs of the comics and the novels. There's a couple characters. Dono is a shaman, and then we have Lotus Kantaro, and then we have a few others that play secondary roles. I just wanted to share with you guys the race of the Kinn. As I'm going back, I have to rewrite a lot of plot ideas and ideas that I had with each race, and I eventually want to create a website or a blog that shows the history and has all the cast and the race and stuff like that, so that I have the access to that, and also other people can check that stuff out as well. So when the comics come back out and the novels are released, they'll have like a compendium type of area to go and check out more information on them and where the Kinn came from, and where they get their swords. How are the swords created? I mean, they're used from an ancient oaken tree that well, I don't want to reveal right now, but down the line you guys will understand the history behind their swords and why they were made, and how deadly they are against certain other races that are evil. So for the most part, the Kinn, besides the Scarecrow, are one of my favorite races. There's a few other ones that I created, but I think I did a sketch one time of a knight, a guardian knight, with a pumpkin head, since I was doing like a Scarecrow. So there's a theme with the Wizard of Oz. I mean, it wasn't really inspired by Wizard of Oz, but I just wanted to make a woodland elemental that was different than just all wood and trees and branches. So I felt like I could just take different elements of like what a woodland elemental would be, and what if a pumpkin seed was magically born or created and turned into like a offshoot of the woodland elemental, just like the Scarecrows were created for a purpose and are an offshoot of the like wood elementals as well. Well, that's all I had today for this the Kinn, the ancient Kinn, noble, honorable, samurai type guardian knights of the realm and protectors. I hope you enjoyed this brief but journey into more of the world of Tezlon. I have lots more to share, and going forward, I will reveal more and more as we touch base with the comics and the novels. So take it easy, and thanks for tuning in for episode 2. I hope you like the Kinn and everything else dealing with the world of Tezlon. Have a good night, and take it easy.